Division rivals are set to clash tomorrow night, and for a majority of America, they think it's going to be a walk in the park for the Kansas City Chiefs. But Chiefs Kingdom knows better, and it won't be your typical Sunday stroll. Today, we will preview the Denver Broncos taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now with that, let's cut the chit chat and let's have some fun. Short week is officially almost in the book as we are less than 24 hours from kickoff. And yes, we will be going live on the channel. So please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification icon so you do not miss out on the stream. I really look forward to chatting with everyone during the game. Now, let's get into the game, and let's kick it off with the injury report, as the Kansas City Chiefs have 3 players popped up as questionable, with of course Travis Kelce, Tommy Townsend, and George Karlaftis. 2 of those are surprising to us with Tommy Townsend and George Karlaftis. Hopefully they'll be ready to go during game time. I think we got a lot of positive results out of Travis Kelce ahead of game because one, when the injury happened, we didn't anticipate him to play in this game, and the fact he was limited participant in practice throughout the week, I think all signs are good to go. It's going to be your typical fashion. They will test it out, and then it will be a game time decision to see what Travis Kelce is all about. And only one I'm going to be highlighting on the Denver Broncos side is we will not be getting the Kansas City Chief reunion, as Frank Clark will be out for the game due to illness. I think that's something we have commonly come to see, and maybe he's just sick of playing with the Denver Broncos because we see that dilemma escalating throughout social media with him. So we'll keep our eyes peeled there. But now, let's zone into the game. And today, I will be previewing, like I normally do, the Kansas City Chiefs offense taking on this Denver Broncos defense, and then how our defense will attack this Denver Broncos offense. So let's kick it off. And of course, let's have some fun and let's zone in on this offense, because this ain't going to be the typical matchup that we're used to seeing. And what I mean by that is when you think of the Kansas City Chiefs offense and the Denver Broncos defense colliding, you think of a high-powered defense in the Denver Broncos. You think of a high-powered offense in the Kansas City Chiefs. And right now, that's not how they're colliding. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs offense has been having success, but as we continue to mention in every single video, it is not escalating and pursuing the way we all thought with wide receiver options and who has excelled as the wide receiver number 1. And then when you focus on the Denver Broncos, they have been completely vice versa, with the league's worst passing defense, 32nd in the league. And last week, they didn't defend the run at all either. Breece Hall had over 170 yards, a 72-yard touchdown. This is not the typical Denver Broncos defense, but also, it's still the Denver Broncos, and it still concerns me because, one, they got stars. They do have Patrick Surtain on the outside, and also last week, they just got back Justin Simmons, which you must believe would bring an extra hype and asset to that defense. But I don't think it will slow down or stop the Kansas City Chiefs offense. And for Kansas City to come into this game, specifically on a short week, you already know where I'm going with it. Run the damn football. I think Isaiah Pacheco can have a very similar game that he had against the New York Jets if you just commit to him. Honestly, this reminds me almost identically of the New York Jets, where it was a stout defense and you can just run and run all over them. Now, the Denver Broncos defense, of course, isn't as good as the Jets, but on a short week, it's time crunch time. You don't have time to exploit a whole playbook and excel on every perimeter. So in that case, you just focus on key facets of the game, and one is the running game. And I think too, even though the Denver Broncos defense has struggled in the secondary, I still don't want to go after guys like Patrick Surtain or Justin Simmons. Now, of course, if they are open, that would be beautiful. And also, if the Denver Broncos secondary does continue to struggle, you got to highlight it. It's got to be the wide receivers. Someone's got to step up. And I think it would be a beautiful time if you gave more snaps. And I feel like if I haven't pushed run the damn ball heavy, I'm going to push start Rashee Rice or get him a bigger snap count. because he is wide receiver number one and he can have the production to do so. And I feel like if the Denver Broncos secondary struggles, one of these guys will pop off. And I think it would be something that would let Chiefs Kingdom at ease and know, okay, we got through. We do have someone to look forward in the future. Because if the receiving core struggles against this secondary, again, more eyebrows will raise. Because the Denver Broncos secondary did do better last week with Justin Simmons back. But a lot of people aren't taking that as a positive because they did face Zach Wilson. They did only allow under 200 yards. They didn't give up a touchdown in the passing game, and they did get an interception. But if you focus on the games prior, they were getting carved up. And when you go up against someone like Patrick Mahomes, that's what everyone anticipates. And I would love to see the Kansas City Chiefs receiving game get intact. But if the Kansas City Chiefs want to eke out a win, because that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be a double-digit win. Shoot, it's hardly ever a double-digit win versus AFC rivals. If you think about the prior matchup with the Denver Broncos, Kansas City has won by single digits. There was even a point when they were up by 27 points and almost blew that too. These games are never over, so it's something that they got to keep a huge focus on. And it's something that a lot of media has been focusing on, but not the players and not the coaches, is this win streak. And if they're getting dialed into it, and they already know, hey, it's not important. What's important is what's ahead. And I love to hear it because you don't want to get distracted into things like, oh, we won yada yada amount against this team. They got no shot against us. That other team is already using that as momentum. They want to kill this streak. I think we hear it every time we play the Denver Broncos. We hate the Kansas City Chiefs. We're tired of losing to this team. And they will use it as momentum until they end the streak. It just can't happen now. And I believe the Kansas City Chiefs will be clicking on all cylinders. I just don't believe it's going to be a 40-10 type of game that everyone's anticipating. I can see it being double digits, but literally 10 points. But let's transition. Let's flip the script a little bit and let's focus on the highlight of this Kansas City Chiefs team, the defense. Who would have thought we're already a quarter of the way through the NFL season and the defense has been the main talking point of this Kansas City Chiefs team? You couldn't have convinced me that by the offseason time, but here we are. And when you look at the Denver Broncos offense, they're not as bad as what everyone's giving them credit for. And everyone loves the dog Russell Wilson, but he has actually looked better this year than what he's done last year. He's thrown, I believe it's 11 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. He's playing really efficient ball. The thing that kills the Denver Broncos has been their defenses, which is surprising. And then they do have those surprising miscues or coaching that just kills them in the fourth quarter. That's what separates superior teams from not superior teams. And if the Kansas City Chiefs can show, hey, we're well matured and we've been in this situation like they always tend to do in the fourth quarter, that will get them ahead of the Denver Broncos. But the defense still needs to continue to be on their P's and Q's against this offense because Russell Wilson does have the weapons with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. And the last time these two teams played each other, Jerry Jeudy had a day. So McDuffie, Snead, do what you did against Justin Jefferson on a short week and don't let this boy do anything to you because he is still a threat and he can still get yards and he can still get touchdowns as well. Another thing the Kansas City Chiefs heavily need to zone in as well is in the running game, specifically with Javonte Williams. It looks like he will be back. And when Javonte Williams is healthy, which we don't know completely, I don't think he'll be 100%, but at the end of the day, he's a heavy, powerful runner that knows how to pick up yards. And as we mentioned with every team, they want to play ball control against the Kansas City Chiefs and eat up that time of possession. And you cannot do that against the Denver Broncos. You got to force their hand. You got to force them to throw the ball because I believe in this game, that's something they don't want to do. Even though they've been playing more efficient, this secondary has been excelling. And I believe if Spags can force his card and make Russell Wilson throw some balls he doesn't want to throw, we could finally get some turnovers. And that has been something I've been highlighting is that we haven't been doing enough of. And I would love to see interceptions in this game. And of course, pressures and sacks. Last week, Russell Wilson was sacked 4 times. keep that trend going. It's something that has been inconsistent for me with the Kansas City Chiefs for the last 2 weeks against the Vikings and against the Jets. They don't bring too much pressure. They just hope they get home. That can't be the case. You can't continue to let these quarterbacks get comfortable. You got to hit them, you got to bring them down, and you got to make them throw error throws and get the ball back to this offense. I hope Steve Spagnuolo has the perfect game plan on a short week, because if the defense is clicking, the offense won't have no struggle, and then we can all rest peacefully and enjoy a really good game. With that, Chiefs Kingdom, I'm going to close this off. But I will give you a quick prediction. I do think this will be see, this is where I'm going to struggle. I think this will be a 7. I'm going to give it 10. I think this will be a 10-point victory. I will stick with a 27-17 win over the Denver Broncos to wrap up a short week. With that, let me know your predictions down below. Is it going to be a blowout? Is it going to be a nail-biter? Let's discuss. Let's have some fun. Before I do check out, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you did like this video, please leave that big thumbs up. Y'all take care. Peace.